Rockies just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. Just a short time ago, sounds loud enough to reverberate across the Rockies. They're ready for football in Denver as the Broncos get set to do battle with Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. Evades the tackler, and now some space. There goes Melvin Gordon. And all the way home for a Broncos score. So Melvin Gordon, he has been a 1,000-yard rusher in this league. No more for getting the tough yards, but he breaks off a big one there.
And the thing that stood out to me was his ability to continue through the initial contact. How many times do we see runners get slowed up and not get what they can on a run because of that first contact? But he kept the compass pointing in the right direction, kept the legs churning, and turned this into a huge play.
And he covered a lot of ground on that one, as evidenced by the final total there on Next Gen Stats. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. At their own 19-yard line. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Bust through the tackle. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. This defense for the Broncos, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
And there's a typical run by Josh Jacobs, one where as a defender, you have to make a decision about how you approach him because he's awfully physical with the ball in his hands. 12 touchdowns on the ground last year after 7 as a rookie, and he's a 1,000-yard rusher in each of his first 2 seasons. Wouldn't surprise me with enough touches, he can easily crack the 1,500-yard mark.
Andre Sisco there on the stop. This defense for the Broncos, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And I think our statistician, we ended up having to bring the blue tent and put it around him for a while because he was developing a hand injury from having to write down all the turnovers this team forced. 5, 6, 7, 8. Absolutely unbelievable. I hope he'll recover.
Second and 9. Now they'll throw with Carr. This goes out wide for Drake. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
This defense for the Broncos, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
They sure did, and the key number to me was total offense allowed, which was barely over 100 yards. That's a heck of a sign that this defense is really putting all the pieces together and doing it cohesively.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. First down Raiders, Carr to Waller.
No tight end had more catches in 2020 than Darren Waller with 107. The third most by a tight end in history. Maybe we should just take the label off and call him an outstanding receiver.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's a handoff to Jacobs. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. This defense for the Broncos, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to third down. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on third down. Carr.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. He's at the 30. 10. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick six, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visits. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski, that's the interception. That means everybody find someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And following the pick six, and they have decent field position of throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
They told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Second down, Jacobs once more. And some room to maneuver. And he's taken down, but not before he gets to the Broncos' 7-yard line. 93 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. So he nearly took it the distance, gets him down inside the 10 for a first and goal.
I'd love to be in his head right now because is he rewarding himself for a great run, or is he kicking himself because he didn't get all the way to the goal line?
And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On second down, it's Jacobs, and he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. They'll run with Jacobs. Call it no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal.
This situation in the 4th quarter, you go for it. But here, take the points.
If you go for it here and don't get it, you and I are missing our plane, and we're going to the post-game press conference to hear him justify it. Because the next thing we'll see is the owner walking in announcing a firing. There's no way he goes for it here. Get the field goal. It's the first half of the game. You've got time to make it up.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
This will be a return from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
Yeah. He's got a man complete. And he's going to have this down deep into Vegas territory. Well, we know that he can beat you in a number of ways. He can catch it short, he can take it long, or he can do what we just saw right there, catch it and then run with the football.
Yeah, we've seen a few moments like this in the first half already from this defense. You know you're going to give up some catches, but it's what they do after the catch that's really been hurting them. And it does again right there.
And the next-gen stats show us the tale of how much yardage he was able to tack on after the catch. Left side here, that's the tight end, Fant. Touchdown! Noah Fant, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Broncos will extend their lead.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury. And it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
McManus's point after is good. And the lead is up to 18 now. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10. As opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Throwing now is Carr. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller.
Well, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Locke going to hand it off here to Gordon. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Locke. And he's got his tight end Fant. Touchdown Broncos. Noah Fant with their 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Broncos are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point from McManus is good. And a rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious, because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They'll run right here with Jacobs. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down. Now Carr. Raw had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's 4th down. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. They're returning it. Here's Hamler. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. 3-2, their record through the first 5 games of the year as they got the victory last week. It's still early, just October, but what have you seen from these guys so far?
Well, what I've seen is a team that's still figuring out all their pieces, because they've got some new faces from a year ago and in some new draft picks. Sometimes it takes a month or so before you really start to gel as a team and for those players to figure out their roles. But right now, I see them starting to elevate.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The catch and run, good for 18 and a 1st down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, As long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Lock throwing on target to Fant. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Lock. He's got it. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well. Here's Lock to throw. Touchdown, Broncos. Noah Fant on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Broncos continue to pour it on. So not only is that his 3rd touchdown catch of the game, he's done it here in the first half.
I'm not sure defensively what they're going to come up with to slow him down, because already we're seeing him run past, over, through guys in order to make these catches. And being able to try and shut him down at this stage of the game, it's going to take a lot of effort. So maybe it'll open things up for some other people.
Well, they better figure something out, and soon. And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Now Carr. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the rookie corner, Pat Surtain. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one, and they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception, tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one.
After the turnover, here's Locke.
Looking for Mims, but this is intercepted. Picked off inside the 10. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20.
This was almost what I've heard referred to as a pick 12.
Pick 12, explain.
Well, you're talking about the 6 that they were trying to get.
Because they were so close to the end zone.
And now the 6 going the other direction. So when you take a look at teams on the march, they're in the red zone. Then after the interception, and it took a touchdown-saving tackle to keep them from going all the way.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Well, partner, they've been running it well the entire game, and the big guys up front, they're a huge reason why. And now they're reaping the benefits as they continue to open up big holes and gain nice yardage.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Now let's check on the call. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
Flushed out right. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the rookie, Andre Sisco. Well, we heard all week that they were going to put the football in the air a lot. The problem is that is now 4 interceptions, Charles, that he has thrown in this first half. How do you treat a situation? What do you say to your quarterback right now?
Boy, that's an interesting question because a lot of it depends on the head coach and the people making the decisions. You have to know your quarterback and know if he's mentally tough enough to have a chance to turn it around, or is he a guy that maybe you've seen enough and it's time to go to the backup? But right now what you're rooting for is your defense to help keep you in the game, to give him an opportunity to get back on track.
They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
Boy, that one was well read defensively, and this is all about diagnosis as a safety and being decisive because he saw it setting up in front of him, able to knife through there and make the play.
Dancing to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. And they do finally get him, but he makes it all the way to the 6. Now the Broncos going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Block off of play action. Touchdown! Cortland Sutton as the first half is winding down. And the Broncos would extend their lead here just before halftime. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started as they'll take over with just 13 seconds to go before the break. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run with Drake. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. The final shot here before half for Carr. He's going to wind up and air it out. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Raiders are going to have it first, and they trail here as we get back to it in this third quarter of action. Now to return it, here's Kenyon Drake. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started, and they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half, so where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely, but you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's Carr. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. And most people think of Derek Carr kind of as a guy who excels throwing the short pass, but he can dial it up when need be.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Still well in control of this ball game, despite giving up that touchdown a moment ago. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Denzel Mims that time, but it's going to be 2nd down. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Lock. Eluding the pressure right. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And all the way down to the 10-yard line. The thing that hurt on that play, the missed tackle, that allowed the extra yardage.
It's a matchup game in the NFL. You get the guy that you want isolated, have him miss a tackle, and off you go.
First and goal, Melvin Gordon. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Melvin Gordon with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Broncos add on. So it was the passing game that got him down here, but closer to the goal line, it's the running game that gets him home.
Certainly appears that they lulled the defense into thinking that the passing game was going to be it the entire drive. Nice change up there going to the running game to get them over the goal line.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. A first down and more for Jacobs. And all the way up to the 46. 119 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. He's done his part sailing past the century mark on the ground with rushing yardage, but his team, a different story.
Yeah, they're down big in this ball game, so sometimes you wonder to yourself how much of that is him with a great performance and how much of that is the defense just loosening up because they have a big lead.
And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4. Nice job there on the tackle. Keep him to the short gain. And, of course, he got some good news this week. He was named AFC Defensive Player of the Week from last week's effort.
And part of the reason he got that award, because of plays like that. Not every play is spectacular. Not every play is for a loss. Make the plays that are in front of you, keep it to short gains, and you pile up statistics.
Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's third down. Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
From midfield, here's Carr. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They've really distanced themselves. They have put the pedal to the metal, I guess, so to speak.
So definitely have them in the rearview mirror, don't they? I mean, you're exactly right. Being able to string together these drives that end up in points, it's almost like a run in basketball to create that distance, and they're on a really big-time one right now.
It becomes contagious, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, because oftentimes it translates to your defense as well, because they're excited about getting the ball back for their offense that's playing so well.
Well, they are clicking right now. Denzel Perryman there to bring him down.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
He'll air this one out from Mims. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Mullen. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line. So the deep ball giveth, and now the deep ball taketh away.
Man, you're getting deep on me here. I like that. Going to the next level in what you're thinking. And when you think about all the success he's had throwing the football so far, sometimes when you're doing that, you think you're invincible out there. But he was given a cold dose of reality on that throw.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Carr, a handoff here to Drake. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for a Las Vegas first down.
Nice sharp run there by Kenyon Drake, and he's awfully tough to get on the ground. And how about this Raiders backfield? It's certainly not lacking for punch, having signed Drake this year and already having Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Now, Drake, he's never had a 1,000-yard season, but last year in Arizona was his best yet. 955 yards and 10 rushing touchdowns, plus he can catch it swinging out of the backfield.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Shotgun now for Carr. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Another attempt, another incompletion. And when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points. And the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Here's Jacobs, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? To throw, it's Carr. They'll roll him out right. Throw right side, going to be caught by Waller. Touchdown, Raiders! Darren Waller, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point by Carlson, up and good, as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. We you know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, They're not as worried and concerned about getting him out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Clock now on first down. And this one complete again to Mims. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Locke. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Denzel Mims that time, but it'll be 2nd down. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it downfield.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. To throw it is Locke. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
The kick by McManus is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss. On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. Uses the stiff arm. And he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 155 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Oh, look at the juke. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. He was trying to get it that time to Brian Edwards. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Running is Jacobs, and he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll cut the lead down a bit to 28. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the airport. In a lopsided blowout, the roads are usually open.
And the stiff arm made it a pretty little run. Not a huge gain, but a nice chunk of yardage. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. Flush to his right. And Locke throws another one. It's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he's trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Once again, it's Jacobs. The broken tackle couldn't create a ton of space. He'll be taken down just beyond the 35-yard line. On play action, it's Carr. Had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Vegas. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Hamler now on the return. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. They'll actually throw it with Locke. He's got this one completed to Mims. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down.
52's the mic right here over there, right? 52's the mic.
Clock now to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 3rd time today. Picked off by the rookie from TCU, Trayvon Merritt. And they will finally get him down as he's all the way to the 36-yard line. Well, they're not making it easy on themselves here down the stretch. 2 picks now in the fourth quarter, trying to hang on to that lead.
Talk about keeping someone in the game. Instead of being able to shut the door, it's still cracked open because they can come back on you now. The only people who are really happy about those picks, any fantasy team that has this defense.
And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. The intended receiver there, Kenyon Drake. That'll bring up second down. From the gun, it's Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. One final try now for Carr. Escaping the pressure right. Looking again for Waller, and he's got him again. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Broncos, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Cleveland Browns. Meanwhile, for Las Vegas, the losses are piling up as they drop to 1-5 now. And they'll try again next week at home against Philadelphia.